Hey friends, it's Samantha, the Urban Homesteader, and I am so happy to have you joining me today. I am working on our family's budget for the next 2 weeks. We budget on a paycheck to paycheck basis. It's just the way that works for us at the point in life where we're at. One day I would love to not have to worry about budgeting the way that I do now, but until that day comes, this is what works for us, and I'm happy to show you what I do to keep up with everything. Now, what works for me and my family may not work for you and your family, and of course that is completely up to you on how you do things, but this is how I do it. We do a couple of different things. For one, at each paycheck, we have we write down our income, we write down our fixed expenses. I try to use a cash budget for a lot of things such as groceries and fuel. And then we also have several different bank accounts that we divert the rest of the money into. So if you'll follow along, I'll kind of explain how we do things. So this is the basic worksheet that I use. I do make notes on it, and I do kind of change descriptions a little bit as I use it because it's not perfect. And one of these days I will design the perfect worksheet. I just haven't found anything that I like quite like this one. Still trying to perfect it, but this is what I'm using. So we're going to start, instead of a budget goal, because I don't really have a budget goal, I'm going to start with my current checking balance, and I'm just going to write that down. So I was looking at my account earlier. Current balance is $470, and this is for July 21st. That's our next payday. And so I'm going to go ahead and write which income is coming in and how much we can expect. Now, this number may change. This is just the base amount that we usually get. So I work off of that. Anything over, such as overtime, will then go to savings because we are trying to build our savings. We've got some big projects coming up and those require income. So every little bit extra helps. So we're going to write down our income, and then we're going to go over here to our fixed expenses. These are our bills that come out every month without fail. We have our ortho for Abby, and that's $225 a month. We have our water bill. I wish I had a well. And this month I paid $79. Our car insurance is $198. And then we have our dental insurance. I know that my handwriting's not exactly the most beautiful, but it works for me. And this total comes out to $601. So here's what I like to do. I take my starting balance and I add it to my income, which gives me a balance of $1,969.15. And then I like to subtract it, or take this 601 and subtract it, which gives me a budgetable amount of $1,368.15. Okay, so this is what I'm working with for the month, for the next 2 weeks. And from that, I have to pull out my groceries. So we're gonna write groceries, we're gonna write gas, and then, let's be honest, the kids and I need spending money. Just for incidental things, you know. We want a coffee, we wanna go get ice cream, need a new pair of shoes, that kind of stuff. And then over here, I'm going to write down the accounts. So we have several accounts. We have our main checking account, which is where all of our income goes into. And then we have our farm account. We have our medical bill account. We have my husband's account because he needs his own. And we have two savings accounts. We have Prime Save and we have our secondary save. So we have I have several accounts, but they all have a point and a purpose, and that's great for us. So we're going to take this $1,368. I am budgeting myself $200 for groceries. I would love to budget less, but the way inflation has skyrocketed, I can't afford it. We got a bunch of doctor's appointments coming up, so I'm going to budget $100 for gas. That'll get me about 2.5 tanks. And then just in case kids need something, I'm going to do 125. I mean, Abby's birthday is coming up, so, you know, we need to do something. So that gives me 425 there. And then we're going to go over here. I need to take and I need to get feed. So we're going to take $200 for feed, and I'm going to put $150 in our medical billing account. This helps pay for medical bills and dental. We do have, you know, the health savings account or whatever it is, but that gets used to and doesn't cover all of the expenses. So we also have our medical account where we put money. We put Randy some money in his account so that he can get drinks or lunch or snacks or whatever. So we're going to put $100 there. Yeah, my 100 looking thing looks terrible. And then we're going to divide up the rest of the cash between two savings accounts. I'm going to put $200 in our primary savings account. That is our long term. That's where we are saving for something big. And then our secondary savings is more for short-term things, like, for instance, if we have a small debt or something that we have to pay back, we can pull from that account. Or, you know, small short-term projects like goats and stuff. And that gives us that. That's 2, 4, 7, $800. All right, so $800 plus 425, that's total of $1,225. $1,225, which leaves me a balance to carry over of $143.15. This will remain in my checking account until next payday. It'll be there just in case we need a buffer or there's like an unexpected expense that we weren't, you know, really planning for. Well, I guess, I mean, that's the same definition as unexpected. But this is how I do our bi-monthly budget. And it works for me. It helps me stay on track. On payday, I will pull this amount out in cash, and then it will go into my wallet into individual envelopes, because I have found that if I don't do it this way, it is way too easy to just swipe my card. This one is simply for transferring from one account from our main billing to the various accounts that they belong to. And all of our bills come out of our primary checking. So this money will stay in our primary checking, this money will be withdrawn, and then this money will be transferred. And then we should have this amount left at the end of the month. I know it seems like a lot, but it's the way it works for us. Now, I was telling you that we have multiple bank accounts, and I do that to help separate things and make it easier for me. That way we don't spend money that we don't need to spend. And there is a wasp coming to me, and I do not want to get stung. Hold on just a second. Ugh, get it, cat. Okay, I killed the wasp. I apparently made it angry earlier and it was walking to me. But the different accounts I was telling you about. So we have several accounts. We have our primary checking account. It's where all of our income comes into, and it's where all of our bills go out of. It's just easier that way. And then we have our farm account, where we put money specifically for farm projects, feed, lumber, that kind of stuff, animals, vet, all of that. And then we have our medical account that we use, as well as our HSA, FSA, whatever card it is that we have. I can never remember. So that's on top of that. And then my husband has his own bank account because he travels, and it's easier to just have an account set aside with money for him versus him drawing into our primary account, which could cause financial discrepancies at points, because, you know, you never know, things happen. And then we have two savings accounts. We have our primary savings account, which is for long-term savings, and we then have our short-term savings account, which is for you know, things like vacation or unexpected debts. Unexpected debts. That sounds so terrible, but little things. Getting ready to buy another goat, and we're looking at some other things for the farm, and so that's where that money will go. All of our income is divided in such a manner because I want to know where every penny goes. Extra income a lot of the time is deposited directly into savings, depending on what the income is for, or depending on what it's for. Some of it may be cashed out and put into our cash account or cash savings jar, because you know, it's always good to have cash on hand. We do keep a little bit of cash in the house. We do give our kids an allowance, and we are teaching them to budget as well, because having a firm foundation in budgeting is an important thing for us and an important thing for them. So if you guys have any questions or suggestions on how I could make this easier for me, this is just what works for me. It's a lot easier than the way that I was doing it, and I'm spending a lot less money swiping my card because I have actually hidden my debit card from myself, and it doesn't leave the house with me except to go withdraw money from the bank. And that in itself is great. If we got back to using cash for everything, a lot of people would be in a lot less debt, because it is so easy to swipe that card, but that cash, to hand it over, it's like, ooh, I'm a lot more conscious about what I'm spending it on, and a little bit more judicious on how often I'm spending. So this is helping my family, and I hope it can help yours too. So until next time, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you later. Be blessed.